is a managing member of a private investment partnership. He's a floor trader, or used to be a floor trader at the Chicago Board of Trade. You've seen him on places like Fox News and the Wall Street Journal, the Institutional Investor, etc., etc., etc. This man really needs no introduction, but here he is, Jonathan Hoenig, everyone.
Real honor to be here. I'm a finance guy, as you all know. So it's my job to report some very disturbing, frightening statistics. Louder. Can you hear me now? All right. I am the finance guy, and I'm here to report some very disturbing, very frightening numbers for you folks. The U.S. government, in the last 14 months, direct to the mic. All right. All right. The U.S. government in the last 14 months has pledged, spent, or promised $12.8 trillion of our money. What does that work out? It's kind of hard to think about what that looks like. It's $42,105 for everybody here. Every man, woman, and child in this country. It is 14 times the amount of currency that's actually in circulation. It's enough to pay off every home mortgage in the country and still have $2 trillion left over. And it's hard to, 12 trillion is the number 12 with 12 zeros after it. My calculator doesn't go that high. Now, to those who blame President Obama, I thought there'd be a few here. Remember that it was the Bush administration. It was the Bush administration that expanded the federal budget by $1 trillion, passed the disastrous Sarbanes-Oxley regulation, passed the Medicare prescription drug benefit, the biggest entitlement program in 30 years. Bush added $4 trillion to the national debt. That was an increase of 70%. Yeah, and it was the Bush administration. You hate bailouts? Bush started them. It was the Bush administration that, Bush told CNN, which I just happened to have on that day, Bush told CNN, and I quote, "I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system." If that is not doublespeak, I don't know what is. But I think today's protests, which are being held at 500 cities nationwide, it's huge. But today's protests are not simply about the taxes. They're about the philosophy behind the taxes. What is it? Well, it's described as socialism, fascism, communism. I think in various contexts all are true, but let's refine it for a little bit. From the loans to the automakers to the bailouts from the banks, the primary philosophy now driving this country is collectivism. What does that mean? Collectivism holds that the individual has no rights. Life, the product of your labor, now belongs to the group. So whatever they want, whether it's low mortgage rates, healthcare, green cars, green jobs, and education, anything at all, it now becomes your responsibility to provide it, whether you like it or not. That. We see it in the taxes that take money from people who earned it and give it to people who have not. We see it in the language. All this talk of, we're all in it together, I am my brother's keeper, shared sacrifice. It all speaks to the same idea. You are here to serve. And unlike charity, unlike volunteerism, the will of the people is implemented through force, not through voluntary trade. Now, I know you all agree with me that this is a profoundly un-American idea. From the original Boston Tea Party came, of course, the Declaration of Independence, which put forth the morality of individual rights. In this country, hell yeah. In this country, you are born free. Not with the duty to serve the king, but with the moral right to live your own life. And life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness refers to your life, your liberty, and your happiness. You don't owe society a goddamn thing. Now, Now, of course, for socialists, for collectivists, for people who support this high tax, high spend, government-controlled economy, sacrifice is everything. I mean, sacrifice is an absolute. You're expected to sacrifice for AIG, for Citigroup, for Bank of America, for deadbeat homeowners, for poorly run municipalities, for whomever in Washington thinks is deserving of your money. This is wrong. The founding fathers' view of government was that its scope was limited and clearly defined. Now, honestly, I'm not a constitutional scholar. Is the government here to own a car company? No! Are we supposed to have a government? Do we have a government to run an insurance firm, a mortgage bank? I mean, we have become one of those centrally planned, government-owned European economies.